Welcome to the Dynasty Pulse, everybody. I am Biggs. I am here with Rachel Tootsiepop. I am here with Samwise. You will not see his little name tag thing until we are in the draft room and doing this Scott Fishbowl 14 mock draft. Let's go. That's a long out on that. It's the Dynasty Pulse with Greinberg and Biggs and Schultze. With no Greinberg or Schultze. It's just me, Biggs, and I'm here with my guests. I got Rachel, aka Tootsiepop, how most people know her from Unwind, and I got Samwise. You can't see his thing until a little bit later. We are mocking Fishbowl. It's the summer of fish. I'm getting ready for my Scott Fishbowl live draft on Saturday, the 13th in San Francisco. And so I'm like, hey, why don't I get all of my friends on the internet along for the ride, and we'll do all of these drafts. I'm trying to figure out how I like my builds. I came up with a new one yesterday, thanks to Joe Kuvatakis, so I'm going to be trying that out. Samwise has finished his slow draft. Yep. So that's pretty cool. So
it was actually live. We were the first day in Cleveland.
Right, but you finished the slow draft.
Oh, yes. We finished the slow portion, yes.
Yeah, so he's got a lot of insight throughout this entire process tonight. He's going to be sharing his insights and stuff. But first, let's you got your Twitter handle there, Tootsiepop6. Go ahead and tell everybody what you do and where they can find all of your stuff.
Sounds good. Hi, everyone. I'm Tootsiepop6. You can find me on Twitter. And I work for IBT Media as a staff writer for both entertainment and football writing. I also am the founder of Unwind, which is a set of Zoom events with women in the fantasy space. It started last October. And we're about to kick off the 2024 season. Kickoff is going to be July 27th at 2 p.m. Eastern. So if you're interested in joining that event, hit me up at Tootsiepop6. We also have an official Twitter handle at UnwindFF, so you can also check that out for updates. And yeah, happy to be here. Thanks, Biggs.
No problem. It's great to meet you. I've been following you on Twitter for a long time. We at the Dynasty Pulse, and specifically at Fantasy Football Plus, we stand women of fantasy football. So I've been involved in the Galvanize. We had Wendy early on. I'm in bots. We had Wendy on for bots. We've got Unwind ladies. We are here for it. We have the chat going wild somehow. We got Wendy. Wendy is here. Unwind God Wild. We got Jamie Frazier. Let's go, Rachel. So you got people rooting for you. We got my San Francisco Live compatriot, Angie Hatfield. She's in here. And Dunn. Yo, what's up? Wendy and Ann they're just kind of spamming each other back and forth.
Annie Banani.
Coin flip. Rachel's going to draft like a boss. Jack Straw from Wichita. He is in the New York live draft. He was with us a couple nights ago, and he is back. Mr. Scampers, MVP of the Fantasy Cares YouTube giveaway shows. Albert Matterqueen, he's oi mate, how you going, champion? That's a terrible Australian. Right. And Jack, my fellow deadhead. You can see in the corner of my screen over here, this is my Blues for Allah tapestry. I love the Grateful Dead. Anyway, enough of that. Samwise, where can we find? Oh, I was going to point out, IBT Media is a partner with Fantasy Football Advice Network, for whom I do shows, and we are going to represent at the Fantasy Football Expo. And also everybody who is in IBT is hosting on the Fantasy Football Sports Network website and app, which is going to launch soon and revolutionize fantasy football or fantasy sports social media. Everything all at once. It's Twitter, it's Discord, it's Facebook, it's all of those things together and then all the partners share their content on there, so you can go to wherever you want while you're messaging people. It's great. We have another guest in the studio. It's Kim. Hey, Kim, how you doing? Hi, Kim. Okay. Samwise, go ahead and let everybody know where they can find your stuff. Are you going to be at the expo, etc.? All of those things. What are your particulars, sir?
That was a nice segue with IBT, because along with Rachel, I work with IBT Media as well.
Sweet.
I am new to the roster, so I'll be doing a lot of redraft there this year. You could still find all of my Dynasty stuff on Yards Per Fantasy. So I'm kind of splitting time between the two of those.
So you're a Yards Per guy too. We just had Yards Per representing the show the other day.
Schulte?
No, Schulte and the big guy. I forgot.
Well, Alex.
Yes, Alex Johnson was here.
Right on.
Yeah, and so that was pretty fun. Are you going to be at the draft night out?
Right now, it looks like no. But I'm trying to find my way there. If I have to sleep on a park bench, I might have to.
You're in Cleveland now?
No, right now I'm in LA, but I'm from Cincinnati.
Okay.
So I traveled up to Cleveland for the draft because the Cincinnati live draft was full when I got my invite. Originally from Cincinnati, and I'll be back there by the time the expo rolls around. At the end of this month, I go back. So I'm going to see if I can work it out some form or fashion.
Okay. You're one of those cinnamon in chili on top of spaghetti covered in cheddar cheese people.
There is cinnamon in the chili. It's true.
Yeah. All right. I've never had Skyline chili. I'm excited for my first trip to Ohio in 1 month from today, and I'm gonna try it as quickly as I can.
It's a topping. You don't eat it from a bowl. It's a topping on whatever.
All right, and we got Kim. Kim, do you have any particulars that you want to share with everybody? We got this chat is going wild. I know that you are somebody who's in the Unwind Zooms. Is that right? Uh-oh.
Technical difficulties.
No microphone. Is that a thing?
She says she can't hear.
Oh, well, we will leave you alone. We will leave you alone then. Dame Overboard, Unwind is in the house. You know what? I'm going to flip these so that my face gets covered up and not everybody else's. My mom always told me I had the face for radio. And so Unwind is in the house. Coin flip. Kim sighting. Kim, go off. I do want to say to everybody who's watching that's also in the draft, we are drafting with Tootsiepop 6 and Wendy Early. And at the end of the show, I have myself and our hosts and guests all give out MVPs for who we think won the mock, because that's important, because you can totally win a mock. And last night, Wendy Early won one of the MVPs out of the 4.
All right, Wendy.
And Tootsiepop 6 won 2 of the 4. That's 50% by my math.
Show off.
So that means tonight I'm going to do horribly.
No, that doesn't mean that. Okay, so with that, we are going to get the draft started, and tell us, Samwise, where you were drafting from, and what your what was your start, your ideal start. So was it 2 rounds, 3 rounds, 6 rounds, and how did you get to there?
It was I didn't necessarily draft with I did it the Scott Fishbowl way, which is you're not going to win, so just have fun doing what you do. Mm-hmm. So I only did a few mocks before I established what I wanted my build to be. I drafted from the 3 spot, and I knew I was either going to get a quarterback or CMC, and then I went bully tight end. I went tight end for 3 straight rounds.
Mm-hmm. I saw that.
And then picked up my wide receivers and my quarterbacks after that.
Okay.
So, like I said, I don't know that bully tight end is a way to win this tournament, but it's kind of what I wanted to do. I saw that the tight ends were getting, specialized treatment in this format. And I was like, it's kind of fun. They're kind of the forgotten position because it's so, there's so few of them really.
Right.
And my favorite thing was going heavy on tight end and then throwing the rest of the draft board into a tizzy.
In one of the mocks, I drafted 4 tight ends in a row, and I was mocked for it. So that was fun. But when you start looking at positional scarcity and the number of tight ends who are scoring 18 to 20 something points per game, if you can take 4 or 5 of those, that's good, except that there are so many flex spots. And that's what Scott did. Was he chose violence. He introduced us all to chaos. And so who knows what the build is going to be this year.
Right. And well, he leveled the playing field with the quarterback scoring going down, the tight end scoring going up. So that provides for a lot of different builds to happen once you get past about 2 rounds and everybody decides, based on their position, how they're going to start. And then the middle rounds is where it gets really interesting.
Yeah. And we'll talk a little bit more about what you're seeing on the board, how it relates. You were picking from the 3 spot, I think.
I was.
Okay. And we'll have you watch Vince and you can critique Vince because he's watching. So we'll do that. Now, Tootsiepop, you are drafting from the 6, which was where I was last year. I really love the middle. I love the middle.
Well, it's in my handle, so I'm just on brand with the 6. No other significance beyond that. I can't believe I got Jalen Hurts, though. That was crazy. I'm like, that has not happened in a mock. Thank you, friends.
And that's your ideal pick.
Yeah. Okay. If you can get Jalen Hurts at the 1-6, oh my gosh, yes.
He went rushing upside.
First? Wow. Yeah, I believe it.
I mean, there is one adage about the Fishbowl: get your guys. And if you are looking at the 101 and you're going to watch 23 guys go off the board before you're going to get another pick, or 22 rather, sorry. If one of those top 23 is one of your guys, get your guy. It's how Travis Kelce wound up being a 101 so often last year.
Sure.
And we've seen a lot of people go 101 and even 112 that were like, what is going on? Why is Rashid Shaheed going 112?
Right.
Something that only happens when I'm sharing the board. It says time's up, but people are here. I know Grindberg isn't. Thanks for filling up a spot, not letting somebody else have a chance, Mike. Now Wendy's in a good spot right now because she's got a ton of options, and Justin Jefferson, I've seen him fall as late as like the 2-9, 2-10.
Yeah, I've seen that too, and I find that so hard to believe.
And Mike takes Dak Prescott. Fucker. He's not going to go that early. Why do that? That's my guy. So I'm going to have to pivot already. It's the 2nd round, and I'm pivoting.
When's your draft, Biggs?
Mine is Saturday.
Okay.
You talk about Wendy with Jefferson and the Sun God back to back. That's a pretty tough start to beat.
When you're looking at those 24-point wide receivers, that's pretty nice. So yeah, one of my things is that I have this like idea of my ideal build, and what I need to practice is pivoting because I tend and it happened last year. Last year I was set on Joe Burrow at the 6, and on my drive down there I was like, you know what, I'm just going to have fun. I want Lamar. And then Burrow went 5 anyway. So I took Lamar, and then it came back around, and I was like, okay, I want one of Chubb or Barkley. And both of them went. At the 8 and 9, 2 5 and 2 6. So it comes to me at the 2 7. Both of my running backs just went off the board, and I didn't know what to do. I was like, hit a button, and it was TJ Hawkinson, and that got me into the playoffs.
Right.
So,
seems like it worked out pretty well.
If I had been thinking, I wouldn't have drafted Hawkinson until the 3rd round. But he might not have been there. Okay, so here's the 3rd round reversal.
Okay.
Wendy's back and very mad because Vince took Laporta and she wanted him. So I know Tootsiepop, you said a couple days ago, a couple mock drafts ago, that you were having trouble. What do you think that you're having trouble with?
Trying to come up with a strategy that's going to win. Isn't that everybody's problem?
Yeah, a lot of people just do best player available. You like that one?
But you need to stand apart from the crowd. It's hard. With
Correct.
the Scott Fish rules, he's always throwing a wrench. It's like, oh my gosh, it's really making you think of what is going to be valued higher in this draft.
Well, if I could give you a model, go to the Undroppables and read about the Omni stack that Joe Kuvatakis just wrote about for best ball plays, because Scott Fishbowl playoffs are basically a best ball situation. There is some best ball scoring because you're going up against everybody instead of going into head-to-head matchups.
Mm-hmm.
And so you're going to want to take advantage of those stacks and everything that you would normally week to week in best ball. But it applies at the end of the Fishbowl if you make the playoffs. So if you're going to target high production offenses that are going to score lots of points through the season to get you there, then you're going to want to look at the week 15, 16 matchups and stuff like that to play well in the best ball portion. Jack says kick return, punt return.
I think that's one of the reasons, one of the other reasons I liked doing the bully tight end was I was able to predict the build and not risk being sniped as much, because nobody realized I was doing it until my 3rd round pick, and I had already gotten 2 at that point. So I just added another one in the 4th round. So most of my mocks stayed true once I got to the live draft, right down to the first wide receiver and first quarterback I got.
Yeah, and that's one thing that you'll hear from everybody is, oh, the mock drafts don't mean anything. Everything changes, and to a certain extent, that's true.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, BroCal, I know this guy has been in. He's already done his live draft, and I know that he's been in 1,000 mocks, and he takes Bijan at the 4. I doubt a lot of people are going to be taking Bijan at the 4 in real life.
Probably not, especially with super flex and the high volume you want to get with receivers, maybe, or a tight end.
Unless you're thinking that Bijan can score as much as Christian McCaffrey, who, pretty much leads the Scott Fishbowl.
I know I like Brittany's team so far at the 2 spot there, Foxworth. Liking what she's building. Oh,
that she's got some good upside play. Samwise, what do you think about Vince's build so far? The first four rounds.
I like it so far. Obviously, I like going the 2 tight ends. Even if you don't go full bully like I did, like 3 in a row. I still think there's enough advantageous scoring opportunities for tight ends that that let's just say, and this isn't going to happen, but let's just say you get 3 tight ends that actually lead their team in targets. You know what I mean? Or you have 3 guys that were, Travis Kelce on a so-so year. That's as good as having so many wide receiver 2s in, across the board. So it's not necessarily a wasted pick to be going strong on tight end.
Right. And even though Sam Laporta was in PPR, the tight end 1 last year, Travis Kelce, even on a down year, was the tight end 1 in Scott Fishbowl scoring.
Right.
This year.
Well, and Ingram had 140 targets or something like that. I mean, that's you want that kind of action.
Absolutely. I am sold on Evan Ingram. And if I were to have it my way, Prescott would have lasted till my 2nd round pick. And then I would have taken Ingram with my 3rd round pick, because normally he's not going to last till the 4-4. At some point I'm grabbing Trevor. And then at another point I'm grabbing Kirk. And it all kind of like plays out the way that it should in the ADPs. But then people throw their little wrenches in and make me angry.
Yeah, I ended up with two stacks, kind of on accident. I kept taking Kyle Pitts with my 2nd round pick, basically because it's get your guys. I knew he could probably last longer, but didn't want to risk it. And I also knew from the mocks I did that Cousins was always there for me. So I had Cousins and Pitts by the end, and I got McCaffrey 1st overall, and somehow Purdy slipped through the cracks, and I took him after Kirk Cousins. So I got, I got the CMC Purdy stack, which is pretty much, if San Francisco scores, I'm probably involved.
Yeah. Quick trivia. Who was 2nd in the NFL in points per dropback last year, according to Ryan Heath over at Fantasy Points?
I do not know the answer to that.
Well, because you said, I saw your lips say Brock Purdy, and you were correct.
It's a leading question.
All right. And I went neighbors, even though I kind of have another rookie wide receiver. B, I already have another wide receiver. I don't like that too. I don't know why I just did that. I don't like that. I don't like that at all.
Pause.
I love Malik Neighbors. I love his upside and what he can do for Daniel Jones this year. Return Daniel Jones to fantasy prominence. Over at the Undroppables, we have the Unscore, and basically a team of people did a lot of hard work figuring out the rookie, how to analyze the rookie wide receiver class and put it against historical numbers and everything. And Malik Neighbors came out pretty good. Marvin Harrison Jr. had the highest score since Justin Jefferson, and Malik Neighbors was up there. Some of the analytics that they were using, like first downs per route run, yards after catch per route run, receptions against man, receptions against zone. Malik Neighbors actually came out as one of the top wide receivers. Marvin Harrison was down at number 6.
Yeah, so I think the Neighbors thing is interesting because he's such a catch and run guy, and in this format, when you get points for the first downs, that was another reason I liked the tight end build, is because I knew even though I wouldn't get the superstar wide receivers off the bat, there are a lot of wide receiver 2s in the slot, and those are the guys that are converting first downs more often than not. And that was the other reason I leaned on Brock Bowers as my third tight end because, Minshew and O'Connell, I think they were 28th and 29th in completion percentage last year. So they're not real accurate down the field. So I thought Bowers, even though he's a rookie, could really move the chains quite a bit.
Yeah, it's been almost 24 hours since I said this, but I made pizza that Brock Bowers ate, and so I'm kind of partly responsible for his success. I ran a pizza.
You're famous in my book.
I ran a pizza joint across the street from his high school and fed the team often. All right.
That's really funny. I ran a pizza joint too.
That's cool. Pizza men. We are pizza men. All right. I'm in a pickle. And I'm going to start reaching. Okay. It's time to start building my team. I screwed around too much. All right, Rachel, where are you at? What are you looking at? You went on a little wide receiver run.
I did a triple stack with the Philly Eagles there. Got Hurts, Barkley, and Smith.
Ooh.
I'm like, why not? Let's just stack it up. Go all Eagles.
That's what I was talking about.
I mean, he was right there, Devonta. I'm like, okay, thanks, guys. I'll do that.
I was talking about just that. So I think it's, where'd it go? Here it is. Let me find it. All right. Philadelphia is part of the Omni stack. And so what you want to do, where did they go? Never mind. So that's going to be a unique one. Good for you.
Oh.
Yeah.
Nice.
And Kamara went, see, if the ADPs weren't so weird in the player list, I would have liked to have gone Ramondre instead of Neighbors, and then Kamara when it comes back around.
Yeah, I really coveted Kamara in this draft, and he was gone by the time because I had to make sure I got my quarterbacks after those tight ends. So, I wasted a lot of time, but there were still some good running back values later.
And one of the things that I've talked about on the show quite a bit is wanting a running back that's going to be in the 220 plus carries.
Mm-hmm.
But you brought up something that in all of these shows that I've done, I haven't heard anybody talk about. And that was the first down premium and trying to think about who was going to be getting those first downs. It seems like not necessarily an underplayed part of it, but just something that not a lot of people are focusing on. And that's what makes the tight end so valuable is the fact that they are safety valves for the tight end position.
Right.
Tight ends or for the quarterback, tight ends and slot receivers.
Yeah, that was one of the reasons I was really happy to get Keenan Allen in my draft. Because he's still got it. First of all, he's certainly not washed. The only reason he's gone from Los Angeles is because of his money. But he runs primarily from the slot. Mm-hmm. And he could end up being a real boon for Caleb Williams there in Chicago.
Former California Golden Bear legend and slot god, Keenan Allen.
That's right. And as we say that, Brittany's like, oh yeah, Keenan Allen, yeah, good idea.
And let's see what Kim's doing. We got Tyreek, Jamar, Burrow, Caleb, Pacheco, James Cook, and Tank Dell. I like that team. That's a good team.
She's live drafting in New Orleans this week, so I think that's tomorrow. She was saying.
I have decided that next year I want to make the live draft a vacation if I can, And New Orleans is a destination. I love New Orleans.
Yeah, me too.
Where are you based out of, Biggs?
I'm in Davis, California,
Okay.
home of the Aggies. Yeah, that doesn't. I'm about 70 miles north, 70 miles north of San Francisco, and 10 miles south of Bobic Brayer.
I
So
was
I will
able
be.
to after. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, I was just gonna say I'll be meeting Bo. I will be heading over to Bo's house early Saturday morning to get drunk on biscuits and gravy. Meet up with Mace Riney and drive down to San Francisco.
Great guys, man. I love Mace too.
Absolutely.
That sounds like a blast.
Yeah, I had, besides having a great time at the Cleveland draft, I then on Saturday went to the Cincinnati draft, and it was so nice to go and watch and not be staring at the phone and making my next pick and everything.
Yeah, just being a part of it.
Yeah, exactly. I was there for Charles Bass's moral support.
Charles Bass.
I was there for moral support. And then
Charles Bass has no morals. Just you can't support what is
that's
not
why
there.
he needed me. And then, as luck would have it, I was coming out here. I lived in LA for 16 years. And so I still come out about three or four times a year for several weeks at a time. And as luck would have it, I'm going to be here for the draft at Trophy Smack.
Oh, hell yeah.
So I'm gonna roll down to that. So it's a 3 draft year for me after missing it completely last year. So
Yeah,
I'm really excited.
You're gonna get to hang out with Kelly and Phoenix in LA. Kelly and Phoenix in LA, and Chalk. Say hi to my boss Chalk down there.
Yeah, I know he's gonna be there. I know Scott's coming in. Sal is no longer gonna make it. But I was talking to Cassie. She's talking about going. There were a couple. I don't know how there's going to be room because they already said it's pretty tight in there, and it sounds like there's a lot of people that aren't drafting that are just going to show up.
Wow,
that's cool.
But they're taking donations at the door too for those people too. Which is cool.
Yeah, I tried to get Howard. Well, speaking of Howard, Jack says for me to say hi to him. I will definitely say hi to Bender for you, Jack. And but last year I was I emailed Howard and I was like, "Can I bring a friend?" And he was like, "Just one." Okay, it was a smaller spot than we're in this year. I can kind of understand it. But then after that, all I heard was an enthusiasm to bring people that aren't drafting and just to make it like a whole party thing. And I was like, well, I could have brought like 5 or 6 people last year. Yes. Okay.
Okay, let's see. Ooh. Ha. I love me some Mostert.
I do too.
Oh.
Mostert scares the shit out of me.
Why?
He's so old.
You really are anti-old, Biggs. Hello. I'm old.
No, it's so if you have a running back who's 24, 25, even 26, you can kind of feel comfortable that they're barring serious injury, they're going to be okay. When you start getting into the upper ages and guys like Mostert, Rashad Penny last year, there's quite a few where it's like you're kind of rolling the dice. Is this the year that they fall off? Because when they fall off quick. He's also in a very, very stacked running back room.
That is true. That part's true.
So it's not out of the question for them to to just be like, Achan can handle it, and we're trying to, save Mostert, keep him fresh, that kind of thing. And yes, Anne, old is great. I am old and I am great. So I agree.
Mostert was a touchdown vulture last year. I'm counting on him to do a little bit more of that this year.
Yeah, and when you have Achan, who's like his points per game are like top 3, it's just a situation that just freaks me out.
Well, I'll take all the Mostert for you, Big. So no worries.
Okay.
I'll take that risk.
James Conner just had his best season at the ripe old age of 28. So
yeah, which is not supposed to happen.
Right.
Angie is Angie is saying that we want to have lots of people who aren't drafting because we're going to be drafting in the Tenderloin. That's where the Tempest Club is. I go to the Tenderloin. It's not a big deal. Oh, you son.
Did I snipe you? I heard what you said last night.
Technically, no.
Okay.
Because I don't have a cue. But I was just thinking about him. God damn it.
Thank you. And I felt that thought and I took him.
and good on you for grabbing him because you were the last to get your second quarterback.
Yeah.
And the QB
Wendy doesn't have one yet.
Wendy doesn't have one? Oh, okay. But she's so far over there on the side of the board that she had to get her Rashid Shaheed share.
I was gonna say she broke the Shaheed seal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Not too bad though. 9th round. That's
yeah.
It's only a 2-round reach. I'm kidding. He's been going higher than that.
Yeah, and it's fair because he could have a good season even just in redraft as the wide receiver 2 on that team. If he returns kicks still, that's just a bonus at this point. And that's kind of how I look at the kick return stats. It's right now it's happy accidents because we just don't know who's gonna return kicks for who. On one hand, because of the new rules with the protection that the returner gets, I mean, Miami could put Tyreek Hill back there, something they would have never thought of doing before because the guy's liable to get smashed. Mm-hmm. Now, all of a sudden, you can put more valuable guys back there. So you don't know who's going to do that, who's just going to use their rookies, whether the wide receiver 2 for a team is going to return kicks or not. But those first couple weeks of waivers are going to be silly with return men.
Yeah, and I'm on the record as saying that that Shaheed kind of scares me at a specific value because there's a lot of times people graduate from kick return duties, and who knows if that's going to be his job this year.
Right.
It doesn't look like the Saints have anybody else who's going to do it, especially considering he's good. But you want him on the field, don't you?
Yeah, I mean, I would think so. He's going to be a decent wide receiver too, regardless. I don't know that he would normally go that high in a redraft league, or depending on the size of the bench, whether he'd even be taken off the board before the very end. But here, I guess it's worth a shot in the dark just to see if he's returning kicks too, because the combination of the two things, being in 2 wide receiver sets and returning kicks, is good stuff.
Yeah, and lucky me, I got him in the 18th round last year, and then this year Scott changes the scoring.
Right.
Thanks, Scott. All right. Now we had the 5 spot hasn't taken a tight end yet at all. I was just going to remark on how late Kim and Rachel and I all took tight ends.
Right.
But ETR Bo still doesn't have one. Interesting.
And I was surprised that McBride was the fourth tight end taken.
A lot of people are steaming him up to number 1, so I don't necessarily buy that, but I hear it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Rachel, who are you thinking this time?
Oh, well, I don't know.
I
Oh,
can
I do
ask
know.
because you're
I
before
do
me.
know. Well, I don't want people to hear me that are watching.
All right, Vince, stop listening.
So I was like on that last turn, I was eyeing Daniel Jones, but I was like, well, I'm nervous. I don't have any tight ends, so I went that. So if Daniel Jones is still there, I'll probably will snatch him just to have another quarterback, and he's got some rushing upside. But now that I set it out in the air, it's going to be stolen from me. I'm
Yeah,
sure.
now that you put it out in the universe.
Yeah, I see 2 quarterbacks that are starter. Well, I would consider them to be starters, even though one of them is a rookie and probably not likely to start the first couple of games. But there are only a couple who have that rushing upside that are left.
Right. So
Unless something catastrophic happens to their team's starter.
So how much do you guys look at bye weeks for drafts in general and Scott Fishbowl?
Drafts in general, I don't.
I don't know.
I just take the players that I think are good, and then if I have to like make an adjustment during their bye week and grab a waiver wire matchup or something like that, I deal with that. Scott Fishbowl is a little bit different just because there's such a deep player field, and really you're looking at not a lot of fab and a whole lot of players. I can get somebody later. But
yeah,
Fishbowl,
at the same time, you also get, I mean, the first round of the playoffs is week 14, which is like gonna hurt everybody because it's dastardly for buys. But you also get that median scoring added onto your totals. So
yeah, and Mike made the point last night that that one of the things that you want to do is maximize your median scoring to kind of lift you up where first round of the playoffs you may have that need for a boost.
right.
So I like that Rachel took Daniel Jones and then I took Wicked Daniel Jones.
Wicked.
Will Levis. I was waiting for him to go. I really like Will Levis this year.
That's an interesting take.
It is. And, you know, I look at it like this, you know, Henry's gone and everyone else on that offense catches the ball. I mean, he's got 3 guys that with sure hands.
Or
at wide out, he's got a reasonable tight end and 2 running backs that can both catch the ball.
He's got 4. I will not have Treylon Burks slander.
Yes, you will.
So right now, my little headline thing says Dylan Laube truther. Previous to that, it said can't quit Treylon. And funny thing, I had a show debut today on Player Profiler, or tonight if you're on the East Coast, and one of the guys that was in the chat said, "I'm a Dylan Laube truther," and I went, "That's my headline."
You found your tribe.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. All right, and where's the value here? Oh, yeah.
What are you doing?
I found it.
Okay.
I was looking by positions, seeing where I could find some value, and I think I found a little.
You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do that. I'm going to go little hoarding of the quarterbacks, just in case.
Interesting. Okay.
I'm rushing again, just in case he gets that starting option.
I am.
Ooh,
Maybe
Brittany
he'll
didn't like
return
that.
kicks.
That's, you never know, right?
I brought up that I am totally willing to take a fourth quarterback, and you beat me to it. Way to
Nice.
go!
He was right there in front of me. Like, okay.
Yeah, we gotta get another one before Kim gets one. Yeah, I mean the adage is in best ball, you don't want more than 3 quarterbacks because it's just a waste. But I and so most people don't. But I feel like in this fishbowl, I am willing to take a shot at a fourth quarterback just in case.
I mean, with all the injuries last year, I just don't see what's wrong with it.
Yeah, but people don't talk about it.
Too many is better than not enough.
Right. Usually I'm hurting, like I'll only do 2 or 3 and then someone gets injured. Then you're like, okay, I'm going to put somebody else in a super flex spot.
My problem last year wasn't QB injuries. It was QBs shitting the bed at the wrong time.
There was a lot of that too.
Yeah, I had Goff and Lamar, and Sam Howell. And Sam Howell decided to start sucking, and I mean it was his team. And then and Goff had a shit week. But that was during Lamar's bye week in the playoffs. All right, and Marvin Mims is I saw some analysts today have him as wide receiver 1 in the fishbowl because of his return upside.
Oh wow. That is bold.
Right?
Spicy.
All right. Okay, so now we are at the point in the draft, approaching round 15. Now we're talking handcuffs, returners. Who are you guys liking on potential returners and running back handcuffs and things like that?
I mean, there's still, well, I think Pearsall is one from San Francisco.
Okay.
I assume they might put him back there returning kicks. Handcuffs, I mean, if you've got Cousins, you got to get Penix. I'm sorry if I'm putting that out there in the world. I'm talking right to you. Talking right to you. But like I said, it's so hard to tell, but there is still value on the board. Vince just said that he was thinking Marshawn Lloyd was a tight end, and Marshawn Lloyd's a great pick.
Yeah.
Because the starter in front of him, doesn't usually play the full season. So
yes, he does. He just didn't last year.
Oh yeah, I guess he did.
No, Josh Jacobs is one of my favorite players of all time, even though I rallied against the draft pick because I was like, what are you doing taking a running back in the first round, you moron?
Right.
And I used to yell at John Gruden a lot.
Yeah.
And Jacobs he's always been, that looked like an ostrich for a second because after I looked up, but oh no. Come on, Vidal
my
goes.
pet
Okay.
ostrich, yes. This is
But
Grayson.
He was durable. He never really had anything other than like he played through a turf toe. He played through a sprained ankle. He played through a torn calf muscle and a quad. But he played through all those and he was still good. And
yeah, he was. I still don't think Marshawn Lloyd is a bad pickup though.
No, not at all.
He's going to get opportunities because God, why can't I think of names? Because there's no Jamal Williams anymore. There's no, he's going to be primary backup, so he's going to get touches.
Hello.
And that Green Bay offensive scheme likes to throw balls to other running backs than their downhill bell cow, you could say. And I mean, they're just not going to give the ball to AJ Dillon anymore. I wouldn't.
That's what I mean. I didn't mean Jamal Williams. I meant AJ Dillon. Yeah.
Now, you did bring up the 49ers kick return situation. We had somebody in the comments last night that clarified it for us. It was a combination of not Ricky Pearsall. I just wanted to throw that out there. Yeah. There were 3 names in the hierarchy, and Pearsall was not one of them.
I see.
That was after a conversation that we were having on the show, in which I expressed that Ricky Pearsall is going to be outplayed by Jacob Cowing.
I also think that.
Yeah.
I also think there's some sneaky. There's still some sneaky value in here. I found myself starting to, in some of these mocks, because by now some of the ADP is caught up, but in some of these mocks, if you flip over to rookies, there's guys that you don't realize whose ADPs are considered very low that, in my opinion, should be higher. There's a certain new Cincinnati Bengal who I think is possibly going to have an impact. There is a certain new New England Patriot that I believe is going to have an impact, more so than Polk.
Just the one, just the Jav one,
huh?
Just Javon.
Yeah, Javon, and I think Burton from the Bengals is gonna pop up too. I mean, we're gonna get down to where their ADP is, but I see some guys going that maybe I wouldn't normally pick before them.
Oh, Wendy bringing the wholesomeness. We were talking about Raheem Mostert, and he does just seem like a great dude, doesn't he? I love the Pop Douglas pick. I mean, New England's target leader last year, even though there's a new regime.
Right.
Dameon Pierce, sneaky return guy that only has an aged Joe Mixon in front of him. We could see a return of Dameon Pierce as the volume guy in Houston, plus kick returns. If for some strange reason something were to happen to 29-year-old Joe Mixon. All right, what are you doing? What are you doing, Rachel?
He's not 29. Okay. Is he 29?
Who are you eyeing, Biggs?
Joe Mixon? I was eyeing Theo Johnson because I forgot about Jatavion Sanders. And were I to do this over again, Sanders would have been my pick.
Okay, on the earlier round?
Yeah. Okay. Where's Mixon?
Do you see there's a kicker taken already?
Yes, Brandon Aubrey. It's funny because kickers are stable yet dynamic. So, yes, Brandon Aubrey led last year. The year before that was Tyler Bass, and the year before that was Daniel Carlson. And last year, Tyler Bass and Daniel Carlson did okay. They didn't lose you your league. Sorry, Joe Mixon is going to be 28 when he plays.
See?
Of the season. Yeah. For the sake of accuracy, 28-year-old Joe Mixon. But, I mean, that's the wall. And so you never know. And I'm not biased against old people. I just,
It sounds like it. You sound ageist, Biggs.
being one of the older people in the space. It's funny though, when I had Howard Bender on my show, I was like, yes, somebody who's older than me.
I think I'm older than you.
That's possible. I'm not the oldest, but I'm up there.
Well, I'm just saying, if it makes you feel any better.
Oh, kicker run. Kind of early for me, I think.
Yeah, because like I said, it's dynamic, meaning that you never know, but it's stable in that the top 8 are all going to be in the top 8. Top 12 isn't really going to change much of anything, and so even if you were to wait or use your fab, I don't think kicker is really going to hurt you if you don't come out of here with like one of the top 3.
No, I agree. And, contrary to normal leagues, the top 3 in Scott Fishbowl might not be the top 3 in standard redraft. You don't just have to go after the 50-yard kickers when an extra point is 3.3.
Right. You want your high volume guys.
Right. You want your, okay, I don't like Bucker, but I like Bucker.
That's not a name that comes out of my mouth. But like
But you know what I'm saying, though, right?
Yeah.
I would like in this format the kicker of whoever is kicking for the Kansas City Chiefs.
Sure, and like Tyler Bass was a good option last year because the year before he led in what would have been SFB 13 points from 2022, and Buffalo was a high volume offense. So you look at some of your higher scoring offenses. Brandon Aubrey was good last year because Dak Prescott threw a shitload of touchdowns. Who's going to do that this year?
There's also, I want to see if the ADP is moving at all. There's a really sneaky ADP in here on kickers that I've only seen me draft.
Hopkins?
No, he missed 1 extra point last year, and he's got a leg like a cannon.
Oh, that's not Moody.
It is Moody.
It is Moody?
Yep.
Okay.
His ADP, all right. So right now, we've got people at the top of our list with an ADP of 157. Kickers were in the 290s. Moody's ADP is 413.
Oh, wow.
He missed 1 extra point last year.
Maybe it's because Mace loves him so much. I feel like even in another division, I can't get him away from Mace.
Maybe. But he does. I mean, he's got a big leg too. So it's not like he's only good for extra points. He can kick it from mid 40s to 50 yards. It's just that he doesn't have that many opportunities because San Francisco usually gets the ball into the painted area.
Yeah, Braylon Allen just went, and I feel like anybody that has Breece Hall, just in case, grab Braylon Allen in the 17th round, because once Braylon Allen gets a chance, he's gonna do a lot of bowling.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to check my team here. It's the summer of charity, so I've got 8 million teams.
Oh yeah, Warrior Bowl, Rainbow Bowl.
I'm trying to remember if I got Braylon in Scott Fishbowl. I did not.
He was such a huge target of mine for the last 3 years. I was convinced the Cowboys were going to take him first RB off the board. I don't know what happened on the way to start him, but something went wrong.
Right.
All right. I really like the fact that I have, and I'm not trying to jinx Breece. In my most important league, in my home league, I have Breece Hall. In my second most important league, they're called the Kids and the Hall, the Breece Hall. I love Breece Hall. He is my favorite guy. If I was towards the back end of this draft, if I wasn't picking from the 7, if I was picking from the 12, like I had planned on in the first place, Breece Hall would definitely have been one of my targets. And I'm not trying to jinx him. Just saying. He's old. No, he's not old.
You know what's funny though with football players? Like we're like 28-year-old Joe Mixon. Like, what if we did like day jobs like that? Like Rachel plus blah 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 age is doing this on her day job.
I can relate to that because I was standing next in line at the pharmacy today and watching the pharmacy lady walk to get the customer's prescription that was in front of me very slowly. And it's like, she's too old to be doing this. And no, I'm not ageist. Truly, I'm not ageist. But there's a certain point where we should be able to retire and have the social safety net take care of us.
That's true.
All right. Boom.
Ooh,
4 quarterbacks.
I see something I like to do. Let's see.
I just got a starter quarterback, a starting QB1 in the 19th round.
Did you though?
Yes.
I was like, you're proud
Believe
of
me.
the Aiden O'Connell?
I report on the Raiders every week. Aiden O'Connell is the starter. Until further notice. Until further notice.
Okay.
Oh my God. These people are still on the board?
Yeah, there's some out here. I've decided there's one receiver in here, and whoever drafts him is gonna become my favorite draft.
Oh.
I'm just gonna, and then I'll just spin their draft however I need to.
Well, I still have quite a few picks before Wandale gets back to me, but I'm going to stamp that one.
You can have him. I don't want him.
Team target leader last year and slot receiver in a first down premium.
And you're saying this, how many spots before your pick? You're just inviting the snipe.
I was just throwing it out there in case that was the guy you were talking about, which obviously it's not now.
Well, maybe it is.
Oh. But I really do love Wandale in all formats right now, just because Malik Neighbors is great, and I got him at phenomenal value at the second.
Oh, Brittany got him from you.
She's listening.
Brittany has my favorite draft.
Oh, I was that close. And then Jack Straw takes Trey Tucker away from me. Damn it. Okay. But I mean, it's a mock draft, so that's what we're doing here. I can't believe that some of these guys that lasted into the 19th round. Luke McCaffrey, what if he returns kicks? He's more athletic than Christian.
I love that dude. He seems like he's got a lot of fire in him. I've watched some of his interviews. I'm like, man, that whole family is just really endearing.
Well, the legacy that he has to uphold, he's got to. But he's a converted quarterback, hasn't been playing wide receiver for very long, but he's bigger and more athletic than his brother. That's got to carry something.
Right.
Okay, so we got return potential coming off the board now. We got Gibson, Kavonte Turpin, Brendan Rice.
Jamal Agnew had a team.
Who in LA, who knows who's going to end up on the field at wide receiver? I don't think it's going to be Rice, but.
Oh, I get to pick again?
It's how it works, Biggs. It's your turn.
Look, Rachel was so against Wandale that she went with Darius Slayton instead.
I like Slayton, you guys. Like, I like the old guys, okay?
She's like, this is how much I like Wandale Robinson. Other guy.
And I got Bellinger. I got a little triple stack with the Giants, too.
I got to say, one day, Treylon Burks is going to explode, and I will be the one to own him. Also, in case, Bradley, you're watching, Will Shipley is Jahmyr Gibbs without the draft capital. just and the job. But yeah. What were you going to say, Samwise?
You said he's going to explode, and I was like, is he though?
Yes, he is. I was just talking to Tyler about it earlier because we are both Razorbacks fans, and we've been waiting. And he just found himself in the worst possible situation.
I did something I never do. I'd literally flat out dropped him from a dynasty league.
I am staring that in the face.
Just cut him.
Yep, staring that in the face. I have so many picks that I don't know. I don't know what I'm gonna do. And I think that's my only recourse is to just drop him to waivers and then just not pick up anybody ever, so that I stay first in waivers, just for the opportunity to grab him back when I need to. But I mean, if you look at it, I watched him play through college, and he was phenomenal. Like, he carried an Arkansas team with KJ Jefferson. He
Absolutely
obliterated Alabama and legit SEC NFL defensive backs, just destroyed them. Goes to Tennessee with a failing Ryan Tannehill and Malik, who was not the answer. Neither of them were looking for him during his rookie year. Started off camp with concussion and a hamstring pull. He was in an Arthur Smith offense to boot. And then the next season, he's about to be, he's the number one wide receiver. And then they go and they get DeAndre Hopkins. And then they have Will Levis, and he gets absolutely destroyed and concussed. And, his timetable just keeps getting pushed back and pushed back. And then this year they go out and they get Calvin Ridley and the other guy, Tyler Boyd. And then they're like, well, he's going to have to earn it on special teams. What do you mean he's going to have to earn it on special teams? He was a first round pick. Just throw him the ball and trade him to Buffalo is what I say. They need a wide receiver one.
I'll say one more thing about the older running backs. With Mostert and Montgomery, they were pretty high up in first down conversions last year. I think Montgomery had Gibbs by 30 first downs. I'm not saying Gibbs isn't a great player. He did only have 2 more catches than Ezekiel Elliott. But that's where, maybe those guys aren't able to be the 3 down workhorse anymore. But when it's 2nd and 1, you're not going to see Gibbs get the ball. You're going to see Montgomery get the ball. When it's 2nd and 1, you're not going to see a chain get the ball. You're going to see Mostert get the ball. And this is the only format that I'd make a case for that.
Yeah, and let us not forget guys like James Cook, Devon Achane, Jahmyr Gibbs, coming into their rookie drafts, there was a knock on them. Their size. Right. Those guys who are that size don't perform at a specific level. Devon Achane showed it last year. Yes, he was at 28 points per game or whatever, but he couldn't play a 17-game season. Jahmyr Gibbs was brought along slowly, and they had David Montgomery to be the beef. Mm-hmm. James Cook found himself in a situation last year where suddenly they were asking him to do everything, and he started to kind of break down in terms of efficiency. So maybe there is some credence to that. They're just not big enough to do it, even though they'll give you spikes. So in a situation like this, spikes are great.
Yeah, it's once again, we go back to the comparison between this and best ball, where spikes are okay. Another player that comes to mind, everybody is all on the George Pickens train right now. I'm on him for best ball. I'm on him for this format. I am not on him for a standard lineup in redraft or dynasty, because he can put a goose egg up the week after he puts up 45 points.
And you don't think that's going to change with the fact that Deontay Johnson is out and Russell Wilson is in, who had 100. He had the same amount of catchable balls thrown as Pickett and Mason Rudolph combined on 100 fewer attempts. He's going to be more accurate.
Yeah, I think it's going to improve, but you're still going to have, you could conversely, you could say that defenses are going to key in harder on Pickens now with Deontay Johnson off the field. So who's the beneficiary? Is it Roman Wilson? I don't know. Is it Freiermuth? Is it, more dump offs to Jaylen
Warren?
God, yes, Jaylen Warren. What is wrong with me today?
That other guy that I can't think of his name because we're in this together, buddy. Is he the one? What's his name?
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah, he's been around a couple years, but nobody ever drafts him. That's why I can't think of his name. Calvin Austin. Thank you.
No, Calvin Austin. Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know. Do you? There's no denying that Pickens' athleticism is just off the charts, but there are red flags there. If the ball wasn't coming to him, he quit on plays like repeatedly last year.
Yes, I think that's going to change.
That's not a good thing.
And his separation, his body separation is not great. However, his ability to use his body to get leverage and and catch with his hands
to get the ball,
is top notch. We are done with the draft. I'm gonna make fun of Greinberg for drafting Alexander Madison for the whole rest of the week. You guys have your draft boards in front of you?
Yes.
Okay, so Kim, you don't have to talk, but what we're going to do is we're going to go through and everybody look at all of the drafts, and we're each going to pick an MVP and kind of explain why we think that. We'll start with Rachel. And then we'll go to Sam. Kim, you can put yours in the chat if you want, and I will read it to everybody so that we don't leave you out. And I really do appreciate you being here, if you can even hear me. All right. Thank you, everybody, for participating. If you want to stick around and find out who wins MVP, and it won't be Wendy. No, it might be Wendy. Okay.
Yeah, I got my fave.
You have your fave? Okay.
I do.
Go ahead and break it down for us.
I am going with Brittany. She's got powerful punches after punch in the beginning. Christian McCaffrey, and then Jahmyr Gibbs, Jordan Love, and Jaden Daniels right out the gate with the first 4 picks. And then Nico Collins for her wide receiver 1. She's got full punch right out the gate. She has a really good balance to her overall team. I just love it. It scares me to go up against that. I would be so scared.
She's got a lot of carries from Najee. She's got the symmetry of Christian Watson, wide receiver 1, and DeAndre Hopkins. I had Andrew Cooper yesterday, and he is so out on Komet. I got whiplash. I like Russell Wilson as her 3rd. Take a Raider. I'm gonna fall in love. Cooks is a lot of people are talking up Cooks. Jahan Dotson is a bounce back candidate. Dontavian Wicks is phenomenal. Jelani Woods, I was going to draft him, but she got to him first. She got the Wandale. And Zach Ertz is what if Ben Sinnott isn't the answer in Washington? Ertz has a track record. So yeah, that's a fantastic draft. How about you, Sam? What are you looking at?
I actually think I have to go with my partner at 103 and Vince Mapstone. He kicks it off with Lamar, which is kind of a no-brainer at that point. You could choose between him or Hurts, in my opinion. Obviously, I love the 3 tight ends. You got 3 tight ends that are all going to get a lot of targets, can move the chains a lot with Laporta, Pitts, and Bowers. Garrett Wilson is one of my favorite wideouts in this league. And then for good measure, he adds Aaron Rodgers in the 10th round to pair with Garrett Wilson, which is a pretty savvy move. He got great value on Kupp, McLaurin, who I think is due to have a big year. And if Higgins stays healthy, that ADP is way wrong. It should be way higher than it is. Zach Moss's ADP is also too low. You could tell I'm a Bengals fan. Zach Moss's ADP is too low, considering the amount of volume that Mixon has gotten the last couple of years in Cincinnati, and the way Moss played in Jonathan Taylor's stead last year. I think Moss is going to be a potential league winner, honestly. But yeah, so I'm going to give it to Vince, and then he went after a couple possible returners late with Ty Tracy and Ricky Pearsall, Kavonte Turpin, and then tax on an extra point machine in Jason Sanders. I can't hate anything about it.
Yeah, that's a damn good one. All right. There's a lot of tight end value that's spread all over the board, which is making this hard. But I think I'm sold on Vince, or no, Foxworth 07. We have another double winner. I like Njoku and Cole Kmet as sneaky plays, and I love Jelani Woods coming the fuck out of nowhere and being like, "Look, guys, I'm 6'7" and I run a 4.6.
I'm still here, right?
Give me the ball. Nobody's looking at me; they're all looking at Anthony. I like that. I like Ertz late just for the sleeper potential. She grabbed Wandale. Elijah Mitchell to handcuff for Christian McCaffrey is a good play. I like the volume of Najee. Nico he was my flag plant last year and took me to the playoffs. Christian Watson could make some serious noise. Russ as a third. I love that. I love that one too. Good job, Foxworth 07. Thank you guys for coming in.
I will say overall, this was a really good draft. You could tell a lot of people did not necessarily stay true to their plan. They zigged when others zagged. And that's kind of what you want to see on a board like this. That's what prepares you for the real deal.
Yeah, and I know for a fact that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 out of the 12 I've done mocks with before. So
right.
Everybody pretty much knows what they're doing. And one of the things that maybe that we're doing with this is maybe we're getting our reps in so that we get to our draft with lots of people who didn't do this and they don't know what the fuck to expect or what to do or so I'm kind of banking on everybody else and their hubris, and I'm just making sure that I'm practiced. And we have comments still. Oh, my girl Charlene. I'm in so many leagues with her, and I'm going to see her on Saturday. Lots of good info in here. Thankfully, you're not in my division. Go kick the shit out of Mace and Bo for me, because that'll be fun. And all right, Mr. Scamper is always lurking. Okay, thank you guys so much for coming. Go ahead and tell everybody where they can find all your stuff. Start with Tootsiepop 6, and let's get out of here.
Hello, Tootsiepop6 over on Twitter. You can find information about Unwind on my page or at Unwind FF. The next Zoom event is July 27th at 2 p.m. Eastern. I also write for IBT Media for entertainment and football content, so you can check me out there. And then otherwise, just find me in a mock draft or a real draft near you because I'm in a lot of draft rooms this season.
Fantastic.
My name is Samwise. You can find me at Buy and Sell You on the Tweet Machine. I've got a new series coming out on IBT, and you can also find all of my Dynasty player value write-ups on Yards Per Fantasy. And of course, I'm always popping in on pods, so don't be surprised if you see his ugly mug again.
Yeah. And I do just want to address something really quick, Rachel, that I talked about with Wendy. Women can play fantasy football. And if you are the kind of dipshit that is going to make a comment in the space about women playing fantasy football, you can take a fucking hike. Nobody wants you here. Shut the fuck up and go away. That's
Agreed.
All right. Everybody else, like and subscribe if you haven't already. I'm going to be back tomorrow night. I don't know if tomorrow night is going to be a regular show or, I mean, we're going to be mocking. We're going to be doing an SFB 14 mock. And I should have Mike with me and Schultze with me. I just don't know if the format is going to be totally normal. And then I'll be back on Friday. I think Tank Polva is Tank is going to be here on Friday for my last one before I get ready to go wreck San Francisco. And like and subscribe, share, hit the bell, comment. Go subscribe to Fantasy Football Advice Network. Go subscribe to the Undroppables. Subscribe here, Fantasy Football Pulse, and watch for us at the Expo in 1 month from now. Thank you guys again for coming on. And the rest of you guys, I hope you win. Oh,
Good
wait,
luck in all your drafts.
See, we have an outro video. I just don't have a producer with me. Schultze, I hit the button. What do I do? Okay, I'm just going to take the button. I'm totally frozen. None of the buttons are working. Thanks, everybody. I don't even know if that's I don't know what's happening. It's just a circle of death. Is it over? Are we still live? I'm not watching. What's happening?
It looks live. Yes. Hello.
I hit the button.
It's still ticking the time.
Okay. It's not even connecting to let me end it. Thanks for watching, everybody. Let me try it again. And this is the beauty of live streaming. I can't edit it. This will be fun to just stay connected to YouTube. Blooper reel. So anyway, Rachel.
Yes, Figs. We could just have a little candid.
What are your plans for wow, what are your plans for the expo?
I'm going to go. I'm going to be there Thursday to Monday. I'm super excited. There's an Unwind dinner on Friday night, so if you're in Unwind, make sure you have the information from me. We're going to meet up and have a dinner together, all the women that are there.
Are you going to George's?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah, I went there once last year. Yeah.
That was a shot in the dark. It's the one place in Canton that I know. I just threw it out there because I read it on the internet yesterday.
It's like everyone's late night stop after the traditional or the official parties. People meet up at George's.
Good to know. Good to know. Yeah. Like it's reviewed as the best restaurant in all of Canton, so that's not surprising. But yeah, that was weird. I just threw that out there and I fucking nailed it.
You did, yes.
Good for me. I don't know what to expect. This is my first one. Of course, like I'm not seasoned. I was like very casual, got into the fishbowl last year, and this entire new world opened up for me. One that I wanted to have been in, but just didn't ever have or see opportunities. I've always like casually, like hobby wise, written sports stuff on the internet, and that's all I do is just talk sports and stuff. And Fishbowl put me in contact with so many people and platforms that like I got to make this like my vocation. And so I had goals for 2024, and one of them was to go to the expo, and so that's it.
Making it come true. Perfect.
Yeah, I hit all my 2023 goals. I'm hitting all my 2024 goals, and 2025 I want to go to the gala.
Oh yeah.
And increase that. And I also want to get credentialed so I can go to at least the Senior Bowl, the Shrine Game, or the Combine, or all three in the draft. One of those, one or all of those four, as whatever combination I can get.
That's awesome.
I want to do that, and it looks like that's going to be happening with FFAN.
That's amazing. Good job. This is the song that never ends.
I just was thinking that this is the show that never ends. Yeah, try to do things at the expo. I am bringing my camera. We have Queen's Ransom is going to be staying with us at the FFAN house, and she's a caterer, so we're going to be cooking. Apparently, Rachel, you are the best. I always thought it was me, but it's Rachel. And so I'm going to be providing streaming. I almost said streaming content from the draft night out, poker, the main hall, the Hall of Fame, whatever restaurants we go to, the FFAN house. I'm going to try and get over to the Undroppables house where other people are staying and get content there. All the interviews that I do, I'm just going to be like I'm going to have my camera constantly running, and I can't wait for this. It's going to be great.
That's amazing. Yeah. Just soak it all in. This is my 3rd year going in. I'm super excited.
And I'm so excited for Skyline chili. Should I be?
I don't know. I don't think I've had it.
Spaghetti.
So maybe I need to try it.
Spaghetti with cinnamon chili on top and shredded cheddar cheese. It's an Ohio institution. I'm going to try this again. So good night, everybody. Really? Wow.
Is there not a button that says end?
Yeah. And I click the button, and it just gives me a spinning wheel. And oh no, I can't. My login on my phone is screwed up too. I'm gonna see if I can change this. All right, this is riveting content. You're welcome, everybody. You if you want to say goodbye at any point, Rachel, you can. I won't be offended.
Oh,
I don't mind having you on at all, but
moral support here as you're having issues.
Yeah, I do appreciate that.
Wednesday night, what else do we have to do? But hang with our friends in the fantasy community.
Okay. Why?
So I have my Scott Fishbowl draft on Sunday in Minnesota here.
I didn't hear your accent until you just said Minnesota.
Oh. It's there.
Because you just said it like you're from Minnesota.
I so am.
Are you from up north or no? Sorry. That's one of my favorite things is, would you like fries with that or no?
No.
It's a great accent. I've never met anybody from Minnesota that I didn't like. Maybe Richard Sickles.
You like me. Yay.
Of course. My neighbor is from Minnesota, and she's wonderful. I don't know if my joke got stepped on, but I said everybody that I've met from Minnesota I like, maybe except for Richard Sickles.
I can see that. I'm just
No,
kidding. Just kidding.
okay. I just wanted it to be heard.
Yeah, he's a hoot.
I love him, and he came on the other day, and it was great. And he's always a really, really cool guest, and I can't wait to get to hang out with him and stuff.
He's so chill. Yeah, he's got a good vibe.
I love that I'm getting advice. Did you try cutting it on, cutting it off, and cutting it back on? Hold the power button for 30 seconds. See, that's the thing. I could do that. I could turn off my computer, which is fine. I think that's what I'm going to do. But I've hit the end stream button. I've hit X.
Now I'm by myself. Oh my gosh, I'm going to turn my computer off because this is awkward. Hello, everybody. Okay, everyone, good luck with your drafts.